And we're live. Hello, Ned.
Ooh. Hello.
Okay. This
Do you
week,
have any?
as we're trying to do, I'm going to introduce us for the 0 viewers that are watching at the moment. I'm Ned. This is Ned. Excuse me. I'm Nate. This is Ned. He's wearing a hat. I'm not. All right. This week we're talking about a bunch of different things. Particularly, Ned's gonna school me on video nodes. We're going to talk about a bunch of different types of add-ons. I'm going to show off the Pulse 8 CEC NUC connector. And I actually have an answer for a question from a couple weeks ago. So I guess to get started, Ned, do you want to talk about video nodes?
Yeah. Let me pull that up. Basically, video nodes. A lot of people have asked us why we don't support more than just the three basic categories. That's television, movies, and we also have support for music videos. But the truth is, kind of buried in the program, not really obvious, is you can actually make a lot more than that. And let me pull up our page. Because if you, hopefully, will find this as awesome as I did and want to know more, how do I share a wiki or screen page? I was not with Nate last week, so I'm a little out of practice right now on the Google Hangouts. Okay, capture, screen share.
There it is.
Start screen share. Did it do? Okay. So if you go to the wiki and look up video nodes, and we'll probably put a link somewhere in the description of the video, but this will get you pretty started on it. We don't really have a lot of great screenshots here, but the basic idea is, let me share my Kodi instead here. That'll be better. Okay, so we go into like a TV show library here. Oh, let's go to the very back. Oh, why am I not starting in the parent? Okay, I am using a nightly build on here, so there might be some bugs. But okay. Yes, I'm being very impressive right now with this this feature.
Well, I'll be honest. I know so little about it that so far I'm already impressed.
Okay, so here's when you go into like videos.
Yeah.
You probably see this. You see, I don't have any movies scanned in on this one, but you'll see TV shows, you see movies, you'll see recently added. All of these here are nodes. And when you go into TV shows, you've got your various other nodes that you can sort through filters. Basically, you can sort by title, which is usually what people get into when they select TV shows from the home screen in Confluence, and that gives you the titles node. But there's more. You can go by year, you can go by actor, you can go by all sorts of things. And it's not just that. You can customize all of this. So in the past, what people would have to do is they would go and they would make a smart playlist. They would go and do their videos, and they would go. See, I even started one here. This is not anime. This is my filter to remove anime when I had anime scanned on this library. But it's very simple. If you ever use a playlist, like in, I don't know, like iTunes or something, you can set. Oh, did my camera just turn off? Oh,
no, it's still
that's because I'm screen sharing. Okay,
yeah.
Never mind. Okay, you can match things based on the easiest way to kind of separate things would be, say, well, for this, we'll say we want to separate science fiction as its own button on the home screen and as its own node.
Okay.
So we can go and we can say TV shows. We can add a rule, and the fastest way, if you have a lot of stuff, is your actual files, to put those files into a subfolder that says something like science fiction. And then you can go into path, contains sci-fi, and then it'll filter all that. And that's how the smart playlists work.
That's like if
a smart playlist,
a folder is actually named sci-fi.
Yeah. You can filter through other things too. Like obviously, assuming everything's tagged correctly, the more logical way to sort everything would be through genre. And you can also set your own tags as well. This is probably getting ahead of myself because some people are probably like, what are tags? But, oh, Kodi has crashed on me. Okay.
The downside of running a nightly build.
You see nothing. Oh, wait, there we go. Oh, I see, because it's finishing up the scan here. Yeah, and Google Hangouts takes a whole lot of CPU for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you can do that. You can make playlists, but they didn't change any of your existing nodes.
Right.
And when you went into things like on the home screen here, when you went into TV shows, you still saw everything. So what video nodes are is they're all the best parts of smart playlists, and they actually modify all your defaults. And if you open up a video node file, you'll see. I'll switch back over here to screen sharing. If you, I don't know if this is visible in the on screen here, but the markup of a video node is almost identical to a smart playlist. So if you make a smart playlist, you can literally copy and paste it and make a video node with it. And you can let me pull up the default node. Show in Finder. I should have prepared.
So in order to set up a video node, do you have to have do you actually have to set up all of this XML stuff? You have to put in an XML file?
Yes and no. Like there's an add-on now. And let me see here. Oh, that's the wrong file. System. Library. All right, now I want to, if I can just share my whole screen here. Can I do that?
I think you can, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, it's me.
Everyone can see my messy screen. We've got on here the various nodes that come by default, and they're little XML files. So one way you can edit them right away is you can just open them up in a text editor and have at it. And even if you've never edited a smart playlist before or never edited any XML file before, there's some parts in here that are pretty self-explanatory. You know, like we go back here to in progress, and it'll say stuff like rule in progress is true, and that's how it sorts it. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't know about this feature, is because it's for when it first came out, you had to actually edit the go full screen. You actually had to edit down to Nabby. Oh, I do have that. You actually had to edit XML files.
Right.
But a guy came along on our forum and created an add-on that does it too. Is
it available in our repo, or is it?
It is. And actually,
video node editor.
Video node editor. And he's no longer active in our community. And I think Ronnie from our team has actually did a couple updates to it so that people can keep using it.
Oh, nice.
And and also everything that I'm talking about here in version 15 that's coming out will also apply to the music library. We have audio nodes are coming out in V15. So now we have a nice graphical editor, so you don't have to get into any of that other junk. And one of the first things I did when I started messing with video nodes is you can see this shows me the sort of top level of the directory that you go into for your library. And I always was bothered that recently added episodes and in-progress TV shows were on the same level as TV shows. I thought those should be options within TV shows. And one of the things you can do, I'm not sure if I can do it here with the oops, I just got out of it, with the add-on, but you can actually move that around. You can actually make your own subfolders.
Oh.
So if you don't want to see any of this extra stuff, you don't want to see, any of that, you can separate it. So you can have on your top directory here, you see we can make a new parent node. We don't even have to think about it as movies or TV shows. We can just be like concerts. And technically it'll be one of the three, but you can just use anything. Like movies is usually a good one because that way it's just a single video file. But you can, this is a little different from last time. You can set up all sorts of things. So let's go into my little not anime category or example.
Sure.
Where I had anime in my library. Actually, no, I don't have it scanned. Let's do sci-fi. So let's say I got sci-fi. Let's say I have a roommate or a spouse that wants to not see all the sci-fi cluttering up the listing. So we can go and I'm editing the default television node. So I can actually add a rule.
Oh, you can browse for values. That's pretty cool.
I can say
genre, probably, right?
There we go. Contains, browse for value, science fiction.
Oh.
And we want does not contain. Okay, there we go. Does not contain science fiction. So let me go.
And then it's done. Like you didn't have to save anything or anything like that, right?
I think so. Let's test it out here. So another view there. Yeah, I would say. Oh no, maybe not. No, we got Star Trek. That's definitely sci-fi. Yeah, it says sci-fi right there. Okay, why did that not work?
Is this the kind of thing where you have to restart a Kodi in between for it to launch the nodes?
We'll try that.
Here I am again.
Inception. All right, we go into the TV show node. And yeah, there, oh, no, I spoke too soon. Okay. Well, that should have worked.
I wonder if you have to go to it from videos.
Oh, the title node is now, actually. That's what it is, and it's defaulting back to the system node.
Because it's a submenu.
Yeah.
So not a great example, but the idea still stands.
Yeah.
What if we created a whole new node instead of using one of the defaults?
We can do that. Let me switch back to camera. Here we're going to do something real. How do I stop screen sharing?
You already did. Let's switch back to camera. Hello.
Oh, okay. Now I need to switch camera.
You want to switch camera?
Oh yeah, I got a little USB camera that.
Oh,
We're gonna go on to. If you ever want to see, this is the.
I guess this is the field trip portion of the broadcast.
Yeah, this is the HTPC that I use on a daily basis. Let's get him in there. My little ragtag guy here.
Yeah,
he's already set up actually, so he's probably a pretty good example. I don't know how good this is going to come in.
I can see it pretty well.
Basically, this is the skin amber, which I'm not sure if it's still being updated. But pretty much any skin except for the default skin will let you change the home screen. Because Confluence right now, all the stuff we're doing with nodes is great, but Confluence doesn't let you edit the home screen. So if you want to also change those options to fit on the home screen, you'll need to use a skin other than a default.
Oh.
But as you can see here, I've already set up mine, and we can see I've already removed the recent episodes, and I've actually put them into TV shows. And my TV show node filters out all the anime, and anime has all the anime and nothing else.
Oh, that's nice.
And in addition to that, I have separate in progress nodes for what I'm currently watching, which is, this is not actually true. I've seen all these episodes, so I can filter things. You know, I can do anime by genre or regular shows by genre. So it's not, unlike smart playlists where you can make a separate list, you still had the problem where these things still cluttered up your other views. You can use nodes to get past that. So all your different things are actually separated. And I even got a node here for all in progress shows that'll show you everything I'm watching. Don't judge me by my shows, and then in addition to that, I've assigned them top levels on my home screen here, so that I can get right into them. And something I was actually thinking about just before we started is when you get into these views here, they don't really have any icons, but you can set an icon too. So we can go into TV shows, we can create a node that says something like all Star Trek, and you can give it its own icon. So you can, this doesn't quite look very impressive, okay, because there's no icons. But so it's kind of like, you can use it as virtual folders. You can do.
So if you did the all Star Trek one, and that you could just point it to a picture of some Star Trek show.
You could do the little what do you call it? Starfleet emblem or something there.
Oh yeah.
Another thing you can do, like I said, there's tags, video tags. I don't know how many people use those, but you can use tags to manage a node automatically. So we can do manage. Oh, well, where are my tags? Or do I have to go to the tags node to do that? I think I have to go to the tags node. You can make tags to, there we go. Yes, we have, let me switch to the list view here. You can have different tags here. I think for some reason I've got some automatically imported tags that aren't very good, but I can make a tag here that's like Ned shows. And I can make a node, and I could select which different shows I want here. And yeah, we do American Dad, some of these are ridiculous shows. Someone out there is recognizing them and saying you've just lost all your nerd credit.
I watched The Big Bang Theory. I don't deserve any nerd cred. I think we're good.
So I can add shows to that and have my own personal favorites list. So everyone in your house can have their own node folder. And you can put that on the top level of your nodes. You can put that on your home screen, and it'll have just your shows in it.
Huh. So the node thing will respect tags. It'll, if you say only show these tags, then that'll show up on the list.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So instead of filtering by genre or by a folder, we can sort by tags. We can even sort by other nodes and other playlists. Let me get back onto the desk here. So it's, as you can see, it's not entirely easy to set up yet. Once you get into it, it's actually fairly self-explanatory. It's not like there's some complicated syntax. It's pretty easy to pick up pretty fast, but it's not quite polished as far as people discovering this feature or adding it. But we've got the basics added since, I want to say, version 13 or version 12. So eventually we'll have the graphical side of that will be just as easy as like a smart playlist, because they're literally using the same markup, and you'll be able to just kind of real easily add things. And even we've had our developers talking about automatically populating the home screen based on your top level nodes. So yeah, you can filter everything. You can. The only thing that is kind of a hang up is like home screen widgets still sometimes show everything. Like if you have a widget that shows what you're currently watching, I'm not sure if they all sort by nodes or if they sort by just generically everything you have. But that's something that can be updated. The support's in there, and it's going to be hopefully more useful, because like I said, we've got audio nodes coming out, so we can do it for both now, the video and the music library. We've got the add-on is being maintained again, so hopefully that'll continue to evolve and work out pretty well. But yeah, so you can have your documentaries, you can have your personal choices, you can and not have them clog up your main library lists. Like if you have a bunch of kids in the family, you want to filter out all those Disney movies, you can do that pretty easily now. So it's in there.
Oh, that's cool. We should make a short little video once we're done this, or maybe later this week. We should make a little video on just how to set all that up.
Actually add them, without all the technical glitches that I just had.
Yeah, maybe using default 14.2 or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's pretty cool. I think you sold me on nodes. I'd never used them before. Well, now I might. Then again, I feel like it seems like the best use of nodes is if you have a home screen that you can modify a little bit. So Amber or something like that. With I almost always kind of stick with default Confluence, and with that, it doesn't seem like they're quite as useful, because I always go straight into, TV shows from there.
Yeah, that's the biggest hang up, I think, is our default skin doesn't support custom menu items. That's been my biggest wish list as far as skin related things. And in the future, I don't know how far off it is, but we have a whole bunch of skinners on our team now. And they've been talking about it, and that is making a new default skin. I don't know what the progress is on that, but hopefully we will have something in the future that out of the box will let you do that, let you change the home screen.
That would be pretty nice. I'll be honest, one of the things that I like about a lot of home screens that aren't ours, or ones that are ours that kind of emulate this idea, is I like it when home screens pull up way more content right on the front page, so you don't actually have to dive down into a bunch of categories. So the best example of that I can think of is Big Noid's lean back fake up. Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
So in that one, he basically makes Kodi look like it's an Android TV. UI. Which is pretty cool. But the coolest thing about it of all is that there's in each individual section, there's a list of videos for each whatever node or video add-on or whatever, so that users, you don't have to dig down to find what you're looking for. I would really love a skin that did that.
Yeah, definitely.
And actually, that was when I was watching you do the Amber skin, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Amazon Fire TV's skin, where it's on the left side is the categories, but kind of as you browse through those categories, the right side, when it's the way it's set up right now, it only shows one line. But if it showed all the lines, that would be pretty cool.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well,
do a whole episode on skins, because there's skins out there that I don't think people, most people stick with the default. We could do a whole episode. There's some stuff out there that have been on our repo for years, and I've never really checked it out. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. we could do an episode on skins.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd be all right with that. All right, well, let's move on to a totally unrelated subject. So the other day in the mail, possibly because I'm cool and I'm friends with the guy who makes it, I got the Pulse 8 CEC NUC adapter, which is this right here. It's not very impressive looking. Here's just the little dongle, and this is just a series of wires that connects it. Let's see, which one is it? You plug them into this right here, like that, and then this connects to a NUC board. That's an Intel NUC Next Unit of Computing board. There's a port for power, a port for USB. Two of these are supposed to go into an actual dedicated command control console, something on the NUC board. The reason I'm showing you this when it's all unplugged, as it is right now, is because it turns out my NUC is not the right kind of NUC for this, which is very disappointing to discover. I had already taken it apart when I realized this embarrassing fact.
And it's the only NUC too. It's only one. It's the 2820 model.
Yeah, the let's see. I'm gonna.
All the other models actually should work with it. It's just that one, which is unfortunate because it's one of the more popular models.
Yes, exactly. So I'm sharing the screen. So here it is. It's available on Pulse 8, and in theory, it's really cool. I'm a big fan of the whole idea of using your TV remote control to control Kodi as well, just because, cuts down on remotes. But so it's compatible with most models of the Intel NUC. I think it's even compatible with the very most recent ones, of which I don't think very many are out yet. Though those, I think, are lacking the command module, but I think you can, I don't know. I think there's some way that they're working on to make it still work. The only ones it doesn't work on are, if you look at the very bottom of the screen here, the DN2820 family, which is the Celeron family, which is the one I have, because I'm just brilliant that way. But with that said, if anyone out there has a NUC that they need a CEC adapter for, feel free to mention it in the comments, and maybe here, let me take screen sharing off. Feel free to mention it in the comments, and maybe this very adapter will be yours, because I can't use it right now. You have to promise to send us a video of you using it, though.
Yes.
So that's the Pulse 8 adapter. I really want to see it in action, but I guess we'll wait until a little bit later for that. Next thing I wanted to talk about, and it's mostly because you brought it up and I looked into it and it seemed pretty awesome, was not just, there are things called context menu add-ons that are sort of new for this series for Kodi, but there's also something called the extended info script.
Oh, yes.
Which is really cool. I've only been doing. I think I might have. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm gonna screen share. Oh, I hit cancel share. All right. So here's, I'm going to back out. So here's just the add-on. It's a program add-on, extended info script, and it gives you all kinds of things to look at.
It basically extends your info screen for when you pull up movie information, or you can do it independently. Yeah, right. Like that. Oh, this looks so polished.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It shows the entire cast with nice big images of their faces and everything. You can actually rate it if you are signed into, I think it's the movie database, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not signed in, so I don't totally know. You can manage it, and you can do all kinds of things with script extending there. Yeah, all in all, it looks really cool. Does it show up the same way on here on the regular movie thing?
On Confluence, it doesn't, but there are certain skins that support it. So if you have it installed, they'll show it in that info screen as a button, kind of like how there's trailers and whatnot.
Yeah. So let's see if that works. Yeah, it does work. Okay, cool. So the other thing, and this is the reason why I looked into this in the first place, was because you were talking to me about, here, I'll turn this off. You were talking to me about, is that, yeah, that's showing me now. You were talking to me about context menu add-ons. Yeah. And that's a completely new thing that I didn't really realize was happening, and now it's happened, and it's great. Evidently now you can install add-ons, and there aren't that many right now that exist that do this, but you can install add-ons that extend the range of your context menu, so you can do even more things. Like you can not just look at info on a movie, but open up the extended info about a movie and see all of that cool stuff. And
they're skin independent, so you don't have to. Your skin doesn't have to specifically support it. It'll happen on all skins. And if you don't know what it, hopefully people know what the context menu is, because if you don't, you're missing out on most of the features in the program.
Yeah.
But you can. It's kind of like your right-click menu on most computers, so you can select a TV show, bring up your menu, and in theory, you could do things like share that on Facebook. Someone could make a Facebook context menu item, or rate it, or check for new episodes, all sorts of things that are specific to whatever you have selected.
Boy, that would be, I'm kind of a Facebook, I'm pretty ridiculous with Facebook, frankly. And that would be pretty great. It'd be pretty cool to be able to watch a movie and then just open the context menu and say share with Facebook, and then write a post directly inside Kodi saying, this was the greatest movie ever made. 3 thumbs up for, I have to think of a movie that is worthy of 3 thumbs up. 3 thumbs up for, okay, I got nothing. 3 thumbs up for Annie, the real Annie, the new one.
Oh.
I may have watched that one too many times with my niece. But yeah, if right now it's limited to the extended info stuff right now, right? Those are the only add-ons set up at the moment.
Well, there's another one. There's extended info. He's got a couple of them. Where'd it go? Context. Install from repository. Okay, extras. We have video extras, which is really cool because that's another add-on that's really awesome that people ask about, is how to put all their video extras on to Kodi. And usually you have to use a skin that supports it. And that's another thing that our current skin is kind of lacking, falling behind on. But now it's in the context menu. So now it doesn't matter if your skin of choice supports it or not. If you have the extras add-on installed, you can select a movie and go straight into extras and see all your deleted scenes, your background interviews, outtakes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's cool too. That's You know, we're always talking about one of the reasons we're big fans of binary add-ons is the same reason Android's a big fan of their version of binary add-ons. We're trying to take as much stuff out of KordKutters as possible so that we don't need to update it as much with a full release. The very idea of context menu add-ons is like the Skinner's version of that, where you don't need to update the skin just to get the added functionality. You just add it to the context menu.
Exactly. Yeah, because I remember before, I think it was, how do you say his name?
Steve Helmet. Who?
Helmet?
I'm just making things up. Sorry.
Oh, well, one of our guys wanted to add one of the add-ons to the context menu of Confluence, and there was a big argument because it was saying, okay, well, once we add this specific add-on, everyone's going to want to specifically request it, and it's going to take a lot of extra work. And I think that's one of the things that spurred the context menu add-on concept, was just to say, okay, we'll make it just a little hook. So if you want to add something to that menu, you can just do it yourself. And so in theory, that could be applied to other things as well. You know, you could have like home menu add-ons or something like that, and really mix it up and make it universal, not just specific to a skin or something.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I'm not sure. It seems like that'd be a lot of work, but if somebody wanted to take that up, that would be pretty great idea. All right, now let's move on to the next topic, and this one hops back to you. Do you have that page open? How to install languages offline?
Oh yeah.
So
one of the things we were talking about is different things are being compartmentalized in add-ons so that updates can happen faster. You don't have to wait a year or half a year for a new version just to see a typo corrected, or let's say you speak a language that hasn't been totally translated and someone's translated it
like American English.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for the next version to see that. It's an add-on now. So not only does it make it easier to update add-ons for incremental changes, but it also whole new add-ons or whole new languages can be translated. Where is that window? Language.
Yeah. So I'm going to pop in while you're looking for that. The issue with this, and it was a debate that we all had internally for quite a while, was that if we did this, if we made languages an add-on, then the default ship of English, and that's British English for all you people out there, you should, if you are American, you should look for the American language translation, because it gets rid of all those stupid U's and changes all those stupid S's to Z's.
Color.
But when we add-onified all that, what's shipped now is only that British English language, which means that if you're trying to set up Kodi and you're not hooked up to the internet, then you're not going to be able to change your language settings, or at least you wouldn't be able to until you got a hold of this wiki website right here.
Yeah, on the wiki, we should have it. There should be links to it in various places. It should also be in our version 15 Isengard FAQ. So you should be able to find it there. But basically, so yeah, let's say you have a Raspberry Pi hooked up to a hard drive full of movies, and you use it up in your, I don't know, your second home or something, or somewhere that doesn't have internet. And you're setting it up, and you need to be able to switch to another language once you get there. Well, if you can't actually do that all in one go, what you can do is just download the zip file, because on our repository, all of the add-ons that you can download through Kodi's interface are also available as zip files. And this page does a couple of things. One, it gives you the basic steps on how to install an add-on from a zip file. And it provides the links automatically to all those different language add-ons. And these update themselves, these links here. So all you have to do is find what you want. So we can get Dutch here. Click download zip, and it will says not found. Okay, that's not good. Oh no, there it goes. Or
it might just be a mirror issue.
Anyways, you can download the zip file, put that zip file on a USB drive or something, and it describes that in the steps here. And then once you start setting things up, you can use the install by zip instructions without an internet connection and add languages that way. So even though we are moving to more modular setup to where you kind of normally would need an internet connection on your first run, don't panic. You can still do things offline. You just have to know which one you want, and which is a good thing too, because that means if you don't care about other languages, well, this will make Kodi slightly smaller of an install, and different features will be like that in the future. Like if you don't care about music, maybe that whole section of the program will someday be its own add-on or something like that. So you can kind of do this a la carte, find what you want and use that in your install. And it works just like any other add-on, so it works with a zip file.
Yeah, so it's pretty, assuming those links work, and I'm guessing we're just looking at a mirror issue there, it should be pretty simple to do. Now, I want to move on to a question from a couple weeks ago. Somebody had asked a little while back if whenever we had Kodi's server, or Headless Kodi, or whatever you want to call it, whenever that was finally available, would it work on the Synology NAS? And it looks like the very simple answer is yes. I guess if you go to the Headless Kodi section of the forum discussion, let me swap over there, then evidently they've got it set up on Docker, which I don't actually have any idea what that means, but it seems to make sense to people who use NASs, so I guess good for them. It looks like they've got it set up on Docker so that at least one or two people have figured out how to actually get it running on their Synology NASs. So I guess as of this moment, it's definitely working there. So, once we've got it actually working to the point where we're ready to release it ourselves, it should be no problem to install it on those.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, the moment once these things actually become available on NASs will be a big moment for us. Okay, do you have anything else? I've kind of run out of list topics.
Yes, what was I going to mention? Something.
See, this is why you need to make a list.
I know. I had one somewhere, and I tried to recreate it.
Here's the Nook that doesn't work with the thing. It's very pretty. I really like it in every way except for the fact that it doesn't have that thing on
inside
this.
the home theater header or whatever it is.
Yeah, it would be. I think it would have been right here, but inside. There's another thing I wanted to point out. That's pretty cool. Koying has been working on MVC decoding support, and I'm not sure how far along he is for anything outside of Android, but it sounds like, at least at this point, he's got 3D MVC support going for some parts of Android, where you don't need to turn it into an MKV. You can just leave it as is, and it'll automatically turn on all of the necessary decoding that needs to happen. I don't really understand most of what was talked about in the thread where they're discussing this, but evidently it all has to do with these, what are they called? SSIF files, which explain how to multiplex M2TS streams. So that people should, if you're looking forward to something to be looking forward to, that's definitely something. 3D for full 3D support is something that we haven't been able to do ever before, and that if that gets into main Kodi, that'll be pretty exciting.
Yes, and I've got to say, when it's done correctly, 3D is really awesome. But the other day I saw a movie that was not done very awesome, and I was watching it in 2D, but you could tell it was done to try to make 3D look really well. I think it was the 300 sequel, and you can totally tell, like, they would pause and show like an axe going towards the screen, and you're like, well, I guess this would have been cool if I'm wearing 3D. But it's just like they specifically stopped at points and were like, whoa. Yeah.
So wait, so you were watching it in 2D, but it was like a supposed to be 3D effect?
Well, it was like they made the movie to, assuming that most people would watch it in 3D. So all the action and all the sets and everything they didn't really consider it for a 2D view. And
yeah,
I imagine it didn't even look that great in 3D because so much of it was just kind of like almost an afterthought, like various blood splashes, and it was like
it's too bad when they do the gimmicky stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was a 3D cartoon movie from a few years ago that did that. It was like there were like 4 or 5 superheroes and they were fighting aliens. And I think Stephen Colbert was in it. Possibly the woman became very giant. All right, I'm gonna have to look this up because
I have no idea.
It's gonna really bother me. But anyway, in that there's this scene where I think when she's very giant, she like points at somebody, but she like points at him on the screen like that, and the hand is very clearly supposed to be pointing out at the people watching the show, but it doesn't work like that at all. Okay, Stephen Colbert was definitely not in this movie. Maybe I made it up. Maybe I dreamt this movie.
It sounds hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure it was great. Who else would have been in it? Seth Rogen, maybe?
I feel a little bad about right now, what's his name? And I feel even worse. David Letterman retiring, because he's a very big comic icon, but I'm kind of like, all right, come on, go leave. I want to see Stephen Colbert on TV again.
Yes. I totally agree with that. Monsters vs. Aliens.
Oh yes, yeah.
It was not a great movie, but there was a scene where she points at the screen and it was really irritating. Say Reese Witherspoon. It's weird how many famous people were in this movie and nobody watched it. Reese Witherspoon, Seth Rogen, Hugh Laurie, Will Arnett, Kiefer Sutherland. Stephen Colbert was in it. I don't know why I didn't see him on the IMDb page. Anyway, my point is it came out like right before or right around the same time as Avatar, when Avatar basically showed people how not to make a 3D movie. It was like, here are all the things you don't do, and we won't do them, so no one else will ever do them again either. Don't point at the screen.
Yes, that's very cheesy. Breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah. What was the other thing we were going to talk about? I think we were going to talk about Marvel's Agents of Shield, and I think we should do that.
Yes, but they just wrapped up their second season as well.
Oh, and did you watch it? I haven't watched the last 2 episodes, so definitely don't spoil them for me.
Okay, everybody dies.
Oh my God!
Everyone, the whole planet.
Does anybody from the Avengers movies make an appearance?
No.
Really?
I keep going. Like, they have this crazy separated world that is connected. You know,
Yeah.
they mention people all the time, and you're like, come on, can't you just like blue screen a guy in there for real quick? Like, just have Captain America walking in a hallway in the background. That's all I want. You know, he doesn't actually have to be there.
Yeah,
But,
it is. When they had Samuel L. Jackson show up, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
But it was like only him. This season, in the episode right before the Avengers movie, Maria Hill was in it for like 30 seconds. And that was okay, but I kind of feel like Maria Hill, what's the actor's name? Colby something?
Oh, I don't know.
Colby Smulders. I might be confusing her with a character from that alien TV show from the 90s.
It sounds like a kind of like a cartoony name. Smulders.
Anyway, she was in How I Met Your Mother for like 10 years. So I kind of still feel like she's a TV actress. So it doesn't feel like a real big get for her to be on the show. It would be much cooler if they had Captain America on there, or Thor, or even if they wouldn't even need to have him. But at the end of have you seen the Avengers 2 yet, by the way?
No, but I've spoiled myself on it. So
okay. Well, this isn't a huge spoiler, but near the end,
everybody dies.
Everyone dies, yes. And also the Hulk is on like an island somewhere. Like, that's kind of a plot point. So the Hulk is on an island somewhere, and like it's clear that people are trying to track him. And that seems like an obvious plot for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to follow up on.
Yes.
But it doesn't appear like they're going to do that at all. And that's really irritating to me.
Yeah, well, because that's kind of like the whole thing with S.H.I.E.L.D. being like a connected point for all the other superheroes.
Yeah.
Is that their job is to like watch after and track, you know, all these superhuman people out there. And they don't seem to do a whole lot of that.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. There's all of this stuff going on in these movies, and somehow they're busy paying attention to this little island of misfit toys.
Yeah, and to be fair, the other Marvel superhero movies do the same thing. Like, some other movie like Iron Man, the president is in danger, and Iron Man doesn't call up one of his buddies to help him out.
That is
even
true.
If they were busy, at least be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, they're on another planet right now."
Yeah, to some extent they do that in a couple of the movies, but it's definitely like wink at the audience.
Yeah.
I'm not a very good winker.
Yeah, it like what was it? The Winter Soldier, where they mentioned, "Oh yeah, Iron Man saw the propulsion system of our helicarriers," and that was the extent of mentioning other superheroes.
Right.
Even though the world was in danger.
So I've got 2 Avengers related thoughts that I want to get out in the open. The first one is, so if you haven't seen Avengers 2, you should. And in particular, did you ever watch Buffy when it was on?
No.
Oh,
I've seen parts of it.
You might not get this reference, but in Buffy, there's a character named Xander, who's like the only guy in the entire show who never has any magical powers or can, actually fight anybody with any kind of skill. He's just a regular dude who happens to be able to run away from vampires pretty well, I guess. That seems to be his skill. And the purpose of his character in Buffy is to give us all somebody to identify with, because he's the normal person. So you're supposed to be able to see yourself in this character. In Avengers 2, they do that with Hawkeye, and it makes Hawkeye 100% better.
Oh, that's good, because Hawkeye was like my least favorite live action Avenger.
Yeah, I hated him. Why was he in the first one at all? In the second one, he actually gives a speech at one point where he's like, "All I have is arrows. Why am I here?"
Yeah.
It might have been my favorite speech in the whole movie. So.
And before anyone sends us hate mail, we pick on these movies and shows because we love them.
Yes, that is true. If we didn't love them, we wouldn't talk about them. So yeah, so that's point number one. Point number two is: did you see in the comics? They made Thor a girl in the comics, right?
Like in the main comics, or is this like a shoot off?
No,
something?
It's in the main comics now. She's a girl, or he's a she.
Like, did he get a sex change, or was it like a daughter that?
No, evidently the way the rules work, and I haven't read it, so I'm just going by hearsay here. But my understanding is the rule is that if you pick up the hammer, then that means you are Thor.
Oh, that's right. I thought that Thor was just his name, and
yeah.
He was the one who got to use his hammer.
Yeah, and I think in the movies that's kind of the rule. But I think in the books, or in the comic books for a long time, it was if you pick up the hammer, you're kind of imbued with Thor power.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So, and that's why the whole "if you be worthy" thing matters, because that it makes a lot more sense in the comics. So, and it was really lame in the first movie, by the way. So it turns out it's a girl, and not only is it a girl, but yet another spoiler. It's whoever the Natalie Portman character was.
Oh, his girlfriend?
Movies. Yeah, his girlfriend. She turns into Thor. And that would be, I could watch a movie where Natalie Portman goes around hitting people with hammers.
That would be
a movie
awesome.
I would watch, right?
Yes. They wouldn't even have to put in a plot.
No.
Or dialogue. Have her like kicking ass for 90 minutes. I would watch that.
Hitting people with hammers, shooting lightning down on them. That would be fantastic.
It would.
It could be a whole like girl attacking each other thing, like Iron Man Thor, except it would be Iron Man Hulk, except it would be Lady Thor, except I think they just call her Thor. They don't call her Lady Thor or anything. It would be Thor versus, I don't know. I feel like Thor could really destroy Black Widow if there's even a little bit of the mood.
Yeah. Just kind of.
But that would be cool nonetheless. Yes. It would be like,
superhero cat fight.
So like Thor versus Black Widow would kind of be like Superman versus Batman, where you have one superpowered person versus somebody who has to outthink the superpowered person.
Yeah. They have to like prepare before the battle. They're like, give me an hour, please. Hold on.
Right. I need to make a lot of batarangs.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty cool. I would be all right with watching something like that.
Definitely.
Okay. So I think that about covers our week this week. I think we're almost hitting an hour at this point. So we could probably call it a day.
Do we have any viewers?
We have 3. We've had as many as 5. I know. It's pretty crazy. For you 3 viewers who are watching, I want to let you know that we now have, I made a website for us. Let me show that. It's KordKutters.com. KordKutters spelled with 2 Ks instead of 2 Cs. And honestly, all it is just a roundup of all the videos we made. But we're trying to make videos that aren't just us 2 talking, but actually explain how to do things like setting up your Kodi movie. For the blog post, I made a video on the UPnP library and how that's all working out. So, check that out if you get a chance. If not, then no big deal. All it is this YouTube channel in website format. I guess keep an eye out this week for a how-to video on video nodes made by either me or Ned. And I guess we'll see you all next week at about 4 o'clock Central Time or midnight Euro time.
Yes, till then.
Ciao.
Believers.